Happy day, college football fans. I mean, look behind me, look at the foliage, look at the colors. It is a cool, crisp fall Saturday morning here, October 15th, and I'm going to give you my picks for today's big slate of games. So we'll start off. Miami, a 7-point favorite traveling to Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. Miami needs a win here. Tyler Van Dyke had a pretty good game against North Carolina in a loss. I think he plays better on the road anyway, so I like the Canes here. Laying the 7 points. Next, going to Oklahoma State and TCU. I think you got to take the over 68.5. I know that's a big number, but these two offenses score a lot of points, averaging almost 40 points a game each. And Oklahoma State, we've seen them give up chunks of yardage and chunks of points to teams that are less than their caliber. So with a team that's equal to them, maybe even better in TCU, I think the safe one here is the over 68.5. Indiana, an 11.5-point favorite, dog at home against Maryland. I think it's a lot of points. We've seen Indiana, they're not a great team, but they've played close, and they're the only team so far this year to beat Illinois. Granted, it came down to one drive at the end of the game, but Tom Allen is getting some fight out of these guys. They played Michigan tough for about 2.5 quarters last week until the Wolverines showed that they were a top 5 team. So I think it's a safe 11.5-point spread that they can beat against Maryland. I like Maryland to win the game, but I think IU holds it close. Take the over 58.5 in Ohio and Western Michigan. Ohio is 5-1 hitting the over this year. Western 3-3, so that's a combined 8-4 beating the over this year between those two teams. Not to mention, when these two teams play, the over is hitting 4 of the last 5 and 6 of the overall 7 meetings in that series. Both are averaging over 31 points a game. The defenses are not great, so I think it's a good over pick here, 58.5 over for Ohio and Western Michigan. Take the under 73 in Arizona and Washington. 73 is a lot of points. This is a get-right game for the Huskies. They need this one. Jaden DeLora, the quarterback for Arizona, coming back to Seattle. When he played at Wazoo, that was a big rival. So you got to figure he's going to be really juiced for this game. But I like the Huskies to ultimately pull it out and keep it under that 73 total mark. LSU, a 2.5-point road dog at Florida. LSU has won 3 of the last 4 at the Swamp, and the underdog has beaten the spread, as I look here, 6 in a row. Okay, 6 straight victories against the number for the underdog, which LSU is. And wise people, especially one of my wisest betting friends, Mr. Pat Sullivan, says when you've got a home team that is less than a 3-point favorite against a good competitor, that's saying that Vegas knows something. So I'm going to take your advice here, Sully, and I'm going to take the LSU Tigers as a 2.5-point road dog on Tom Petty night to upset the fans at the Swamp. Not necessarily a true upset in terms of the teams, but I like the Brian Kelly-led Tigers here. Utah, -3 at home against a much higher-ranked USC team. Look, this is going to be an emotional night. It's a blackout. It's the game to honor the number 22, Aaron Lowe and Ty Jordan, who both wore that number. Utah has vowed to give 22% extra on every play. This is a get-right game for Utah. They are out to prove that they are a good team and that they were not a mistake for people to think highly of them. It's at home, it's at night. The muss is going to be rocking, and I think that, the unsustainable turnover success for USC might come to a head. And don't we remember last year when a higher-ranked Oregon team came into a night game at Utah when they were wearing an alternative uniform and kind of paying homage to their teammates, and that was an absolute annihilation. I see something somewhat similar. I certainly think that Utah is able to cover that 3-point spread, so take the Utes in that one. Take the over 51.5 in Washington State, traveling to Corvallis and the being repaired Reser Stadium. I also like Wazoo as a +3 road dog here. Here's why. Wazoo has won 8 straight in this series. Oregon State is going to be without starting quarterback Chance Nolan. Ben Gulbranson is going to be starting at QB for the Beavers. And as far as that over number, 51.5, that's a relatively low number. I know that both teams play pretty good defense, but the over has hit in 8 of the last 9 in this series, and in all of those 9 games, the total has gone over 51.5, which is what the number is today. So I think take the over, and I would suggest taking Wazoo +3 in that one. And if you want some money line sprinkles, Chappy's gonna go with Toledo over Kent State. Almost took Toledo as a 7.5 point favorite at home, but I think it's safer to hit the money line. And then San Jose State, an 8 point road favorite at Fresno State. Fresno State has lost 4 straight. They're losing a lot of hope out there. A lot of injuries have just destroyed them, but I think that they play with a little bit of pride, so that cautions me and that makes me hesitate on San Jose State beating that 8 point number. I think it's safer to just take them as a straight up winner on the money line. So that's what I got for today, October 15th. I'll be checking in, I'll be watching the games. Good luck to you. Have fun, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and be smart. I'm Chappy. This is what I know. This is what I love.